What's up, guys? Huge Terra Classic proposal about to pass literally any second now. Is it going to cause a huge pump in the price just like we saw with the last proposal? We're going to check it out. Also, the 1.2% burn proposal, when's that actually going to be implemented? We'll talk about that. And the SEC is actually investigating Dokun now, and it looks like he cashed out $2.7 billion right before the crash. And also, we're going to look at some price predictions, and I'll show you with these burns exactly how Terra Classic could get to $1. It's actually possible. All right, let's get into it. So, first off, Dokun. So, shout out to Fat Man. He's been covering this Dokun scandal, doing some great research. So, SEC is now investigating Dokun. Looks like he cashed out $2.7 billion right before the crash. How did he do this? Well, how did he do this without crashing the price of Luna? Well, he used Abracadabra's degen box. So you can stake collateral to buy UST, put it into Anchor, then use the AUST to borrow more UST, then put that into Anchor again, and you just keep repeating that, and it's crazy. So word got out about this, and a bunch of people started doing it, which created incredibly thick, near immovable liquidity near the top of the peg zone. So in a nutshell, it would allow for someone to cash out billions of UST for MIM at a 1-to-1 rate without disturbing the peg, all thanks to inorganic demand. So basically, it artificially makes it seem like there's an insane amount of demand, which keeps the peg up. So that basically allowed him to cash out tons of UST for MIM, and he was able to cash out $2.7 billion as we see here. So far this hasn't been proven in a court of law or anything yet. SEC is still investigating him, but it's looking like he did indeed cash out $2.7 billion. So question is, if he gets found guilty, will this $2.7 billion come back into Terra Classic? That could come back into Terra Classic, back to the investors from which he basically stole this money. That would be huge. So we'll see if that eventually happens. Could take a bit. Could take a while though to get this fully investigated. Okay, so moving on to these proposals. So this is the new proposal here. Well, it's not that new now, a few days old, but it's the newest proposal. And I talked about this in my previous video. If you want a detailed description of exactly what this proposal does, then go watch my previous video. But short explanation, it's different than the 1.2% proposal. So the 1.2% proposal has to do with exchanges, and whenever you buy or sell on an exchange, it will burn 1.2% of that transaction. Now this is completely different. This is talking about on-chain fees. So there's already existing transaction fees on-chain, and this is just changing the distribution of those fees. So it's going to distribute 50%. So first off, this works hand in hand with the other proposal. So it's not replacing it or anything. They're both for different purposes, and they're going to work hand in hand. So it's going to distribute 50% of transaction fees to the community pool. So 35% of those are going to be burned, and then 10% airdrop to ecosystem devs, 5% retained for core Terra Classic development. So short version, basically, this is actually going to cause additional burns. Going to be burning more tokens in addition to the 1.2% on exchanges. And also, it's going to incentivize developers to continue developing on Terra Classic. So this is actually super good. If we can attract projects back to developing on Terra Classic, then that could actually revive Terra Classic, and it wouldn't be a dead project anymore if projects start developing on it. So this could be huge. And So far, 96% have voted yes. 37% of the votes in. Still has 3 more days of voting, and we are already almost at quorum. We got to at least get to quorum for this to pass. And quorum is 40%. We're at 37.4%, so looks like we're for sure going to make quorum, I would say. So looks like this is definitely going to pass. Oh yeah, one more thing. Best part about this is it's actually a parameter change proposal, which means that if this passes, nobody has to do anything. When the voting ends and it passes, nobody actually has to do anything. It's automatic. It automatically just instantly gets implemented. So that's great. So as soon as the voting ends and it passes, we would just see this get implemented automatically. But yeah, so looks like this is going to pass for sure. Question is, when we reach quorum, once we reach quorum, are we going to see a pump in the Terra Classic price? So like with the 1.2% burn proposal, as soon as that reached quorum, I made a video letting you guys know that it could potentially pump the price. I made the video down here, and we did see this huge over 100% pump. So hopefully you guys saw that video and got in on that with me. But question is, are we going to see that again when this one hits quorum? Hopefully we do, but we're literally super close. Could happen at any time. So I'll make sure to make a video for you guys and let you know when we reach quorum, because we may indeed see a pump again just like this. Not guaranteed, but I'll make a video and we'll see what's going on. So like and subscribe if you want to be updated on that. All right, now let's go talk about this proposal that already passed. So like I said, the other one's a parameter change proposal, which means it's automatic. This one that already passed is a text proposal, which means you actually people have to manually go implement it themselves. So that's why we're seeing this take a little bit of time here. But this is the 1.2% burn proposal. And when's this going to be implemented? Well, it could literally be implemented at any time. It's all up to the exchanges to decide to actually implement this on their exchanges. So I actually think that this could potentially happen very quickly, because we already saw one exchange, MEXC Global, was doing a Terra Classic burn weeks ago before this burn proposal even existed. And why were they doing that? For publicity and to potentially attract new users to their exchange. So I mean, it worked. It got my attention on them. I've never talked about MEXC Global before. Now I'm talking about them all the time. So I think all the other exchanges are probably going to want to implement this, because why would they not? It's an easy way to get attention, publicity, potentially attract new users to your exchange. Especially if you're the first one to implement this, then you'll get the most attention. So if I were in an exchange, I would be going as fast as I could to implement this. So I think we could see this potentially very soon. And even if just Binance implements this, then we could actually see an insane amount of burns, because Binance has by far the most volume, and Binance also holds almost 3 trillion Terra Classic tokens. So they're holding almost half the entire supply. So if they implement this, just that one exchange, Binance, we could potentially see a crazy amount of burns, potentially trillions. So we'll see what happens. As soon as exchanges announce that they're implementing this, I'll make a video, let you guys know. All right, so now let's look at the price and price predictions here. So right now we have 24-hour volume is at 172 million. That's actually up 8%. A few days ago we were at like 600 million, which is pretty crazy. And then it went down, but volume's going up a little bit. And yeah, so past few weeks we've been ranging between 100 to 500 million or so. During the crash, we actually had 15 billion. Where is it? It's right around here. 15 billion in 24-hour volume at one point, and that was crazy. But even after a few days after the crash, we had a 24-hour volume of 8 billion, which is absolutely nuts, and that's even after the crash. But last few weeks it's settled down a bit. We've been having 100 to 500 million volume per 24 hours. So now let's look at how many tokens we could burn with this kind of volume. So this shows you, based on the volume, how many tokens you would burn per day, per month, and per year. So with 100 million in volume, you'd be burning 5.2 trillion per year. Total supply is, the circulating supply is 6.5 trillion. So that's almost the entire volume in 1 year. With 500 million in volume, you'd be burning 26 trillion per year, which is way more than the supply. So it'd be 2 trillion per month. So in about 3 months, that would be the entire supply. Now, it would take a bit longer than that, because as you burn tokens, the price is going to go up, and as the price goes up, it means you're going to be burning less per transaction. So as the price goes up, the rate at which you're burning is going down. So it would take a bit longer. But even with the volume we're seeing right now, we could potentially burn almost the entire supply in less than a year, which is crazy. And we could potentially have days, I mean, if these burns start happening and we're burning a lot of tokens, people are going to start buying like crazy. So we could potentially see volume go up to 1, 2, 3 billion, maybe even have days where we're spiking up to 8 billion like we've seen. So, but even with these conservative numbers, could burn the entire supply possibly in less than a year. So let's look at what that would do to the price. So if we burned almost the whole supply, so this proposal will keep burning tokens until we're down to 10 billion. So if we did burn all the supply down to 10 billion and the market cap did not change, then we'd be at like 4 cents. The price would be at 4 cents. So, but of course, if we're burning tokens and if we're seeing tons of tokens getting burnt, of course, tons of people are going to start buying this, and the market cap is going to pump up like crazy. So if the market cap gets up to 10 billion, which isn't even an outrageously high number, it's totally doable, and the supply was at 10 billion, then we would be at $1. So that means if you bought $70 of Terra Classic right now and we got to $1, you'd be a millionaire. And that could potentially happen in less than a year, which is absolutely crazy. So yeah, crazy stuff. Now, I'm not saying that's guaranteed to happen. It's still a gamble. Still a lot of things need to happen. We still need to see exchanges implement these burns, and we're going to need to see decent volume, of course. So it's not guaranteed to happen. I'm just showing you guys based on the math, just showing you guys the possibilities. So let me know what your price prediction is. How long do you think it's going to take? And like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and you want more of these Terra Classic updates. Thanks for watching, guys. You guys are awesome. I'll see y'all later.